What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to review The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the Nick Cage film. I just got back from seeing it my time when I'm recording this, and want to give you guys the review. I loved it. I loved it to death. And I think, and I've seen this being said here and there, I really don't think you have to be like a diehard Nick Cage person in order to appreciate this film. Now, I've always liked Nick Cage. I've always been on his side. And I have seen some of his more like obscure films over the last, even I guess the last several years. But, you know, I would consider myself more of a, you know, a fan of Nick Cage rather than like a passive observer of him. And I think the movie works really well because of that. I think it's only going to be enhanced if you know about Nick Cage, you know, the references, just the little small, I guess, things that they throw here and there in the film. But besides that, the film, again, I think actually kind of works, not without him, but without a massive understanding of, you know, what he's done. I do think you need to like Nick Cage. I don't think you, or maybe not even that, I just don't think you would enjoy this movie if you, I guess, don't like Nick Cage's acting. But I would say, would it be tough to say this is like the best Nick Cage film ever? Maybe that would actually, you know, rub somebody the wrong way. But I honestly feel like the performance he gives from start to finish, the different genres that the movie goes through, the different personalities that he puts on. I mean, I really think he did an insanely good job the entire film. To say blown away, well, again, I think Nick Cage has this kind of talent within him, so I don't know if I would say I'm blown away or I didn't expect it, but I mean, it was just nonstop, extremely good. The best of Nick Cage, okay? The best of Nick Cage is what I thought. But everybody, and I watched, I believe, Jeremy John's review before I saw this movie, and one of the things he said is like, the supporting cast, like everybody does their job. I agree. There is not, in my opinion, one weak link of this movie. Every single, whether they're in the movie, well, if you're Pedro Pascal, he's, you know, that relationship between Nick and Pedro really can make or break the film. It was fantastic. It's exactly what you would imagine some, you know, fan, this like love that he has, and then Nick Cage, you know, kind of falls in love with him too in that way. It's incredible. So Pedro Pascal crushed it, but everybody else, you know, like Tiffany Haddish and all that, like they all did extremely good from start to finish. Again, there wasn't a weak, in my opinion, really, there wasn't a weak character. And, you know, obviously when you're making a film about Nick Cage, you expect it to be self-aware. I didn't know how self-aware it was going to be, though, and I actually really enjoyed it because the film, I won't spoil, you know, the ending or stuff like that, but the film is a film. Like, they're writing a film, so they're coming up with different plot points and beginning, middle, end, or third act. So the movie is literally mirroring itself, and they're kind of telling you what has happened, what's happening right now, and what's going to happen as the movie progresses. They're saying it because they're in a movie, but not like in a cheesy way. It just kind of, the way that they do it, again, I won't really give it away, but it works really. And again, I think that kind of smart, because it's smart, that kind of smart works without, you know, the idea of Nick Cage. You know what I mean? I think it's just a good idea on its own. But then Nick Cage obviously brings that charisma, and then also that relationship. Again, the relationship between the two really is the whole movie. They have like an LSD thing. There's a lot of joking between them. There's some seriousness between them. There's some just clever kind of writing where they're saying stuff that the other person isn't supposed to know, but because they're both kind of in the same frame of mind, they actually do know. It's very clever, and it's very funny. I mean, I think in that review of Jeremy Johns, he said like there were no laugh out moments. I disagree. I actually think there were several moments. I laughed out loud. My theater multiple times. Sometimes even when I didn't laugh as much, they laughed. And then, you know, we kind of all laughed together. The film's really funny. Like it is. It's got some really good references. It's got some really like WTF moments where you're like, oh, well, like what? You know, it's really good. This movie is just really enjoyable. Now, one thing I will agree with him is the movie actually works, I think, at its best in the first two acts. The third act is more action-y, and it works, and it's fine, and I think everybody does fine. But if during those moments, I felt like cuts were kind of weird, like there was some weird cutting going on. Things were moving extremely fast. I actually think you probably could have added 5, 6, 7 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot of time, but that's, you know, picture an extra minute on a couple different scenes. That you know, that could help. I really that if I had to say any weaknesses of this movie, that's what I would say. I think the beginning was beautiful. I think it was very Nick Cage. Really, the entire relationship leading into the action between the two was incredibly well done. I just think once it got to the action, it got a little too fast, too fast. It just went faster than you would have liked it to. And again, there was some like choppy editing. It was kind of weird. But besides that, and you know, that's kind of where the movie was telling you it was going to go anyway, so it wasn't necessarily a surprise that was going to happen. But I love the ending. That was like a feel-good kind of ending. The movie is just you know, it's not going to make you depressed, you know, when you leave the movie. Like, it's just a feel-good movie. It's a feel-good time that I think works in comedy. I think it works in kind of like just in the sense of itself, like in the meta-ness, I guess, right? It works really well. And then again, I don't think you'd like it if you don't like Nick Cage, but I don't think you have to like. There were people that told me like they've never seen a film by him. Now I find that very hard to believe. I think you have to have seen some. National Treasure is my personal favorite from him, but you know, maybe if you've never seen a film but you generally think he's like likable and you've seen the memes and stuff of him, I think the movie would still work. And I think again, that's kind of like the barrier of entry. If you don't like him, it's a no. If you know of him and you know he's generally likable, then I think you're fine. I think the movie will work, and you may miss out on some stuff. And then if you're a diehard Nick Cage, which let's be real, who isn't? Those are the people that I think make out the movie is seriously helped by Nick Cage, and it really couldn't have happened without Nick Cage, considering the premise of the film. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you guys have seen it or are going to see, this is opening week, I believe, but my theater was packed. It was a smaller theater. It was a smaller amount of people that could be in there, but it was packed. So I'm hoping this movie makes a lot of money, and not that we get a sequel, but I'm just hoping like they get rewarded for something like this. They definitely deserve it. So let me know what you think. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. And I hope to see you all on tomorrow's video.